to Minding Your Business, the show for entrepreneurs. I'm your host, June Middleton. Our guests this evening are internationally known and acclaimed classical and chamber music artists. They have performed with orchestras around the world. They recently had a very successful 3-month tour. In fact, I had trouble getting them to do the show because of their successful tour. They kept getting more and more dates, and they were performing in Brazil, France, Germany, and Austria. They performed at the Inter-American Development Bank Concert Series in Washington, D.C. yesterday. And they just performed at the Museum of Biblical Art before they came here to do the show at Manhattan Neighborhood Network, Minding Your Business. I am just so pleased and delighted to present to you and have as our guests on the show this evening the De La Riva Guarin duo featuring soprano Angelica de la Riva and classical guitarist Nilko, Andreas, Guarin. magnificent. You have an incredible voice.
Thank you.
And you're accompanying her on the guitar. I feel so fortunate to sit here and listen to such beautiful, beautiful music from two such professional musicians. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having
being on
us.
this show.
It's a pleasure.
And you just performed this afternoon, did a concert?
Yes, we had a concert at the Museum of Biblical Arts at Lincoln Center. They have a concert series now. So we were really happy, and we prepared a program related to
Their upcoming exhibition
Ah,
of Louis Tiffany. So the program was music, sacred music, but also music by composers and poets that have been inspired by nature as God's creation.
oh, how wonderful, wonderful. And I'm sure it was very successful and you were well received.
What's
I have-
wonderful?
it was very nice.
I have no doubt. Well, Nilko, welcome back.
Thank you very
It's
much.
nice to see you back again. You were here before with La Cumbiamba,
Yes, yes.
of
Yes,
which you were a
true.
co-founder with Martin.
With Martin and Sebastian Yen.
Oh, that was a great experience
Yes,
as
thank you
well.
for having me
Well,
back.
I want to also thank you for bringing this lovely lady, opera singer, with you.
Of course, thank you
Angelica,
for having
you are
us.
just absolutely magnificent.
Thank
and
you.
you are described as having a gorgeous presence, refinement, and posture of a great singer, and a warm and powerful voice. And I totally, completely agree. Now, this was a review that was written in the Journal de Brazil.
Yes. This was a review of a concert we did a little bit over a year ago with an orchestra in the town that I grew up and spent most of my childhood in the state of Rio de Janeiro.
Oh,
In
really?
Campos, yes.
Well, I know that you have an outstanding career around the world. Tell us, how did you get started? I mean, when did you first start taking voice training? Was your first musical entrance into the classical field?
Yes, actually I was very lucky. My family is very musical, even though they're not, my parents are not professional musicians, but they're music lovers. And my father would always listen to a lot of opera, and I just started imitating the arias, the sopranos, and he was, I think you have a voice, and I wasn't really into it. I was
Good
just
thought.
singing, like making, just imitating. So my first voice lessons were just to please him and to just like, okay, I'll go to my voice lesson, but taking guitar lessons and taking piano lessons when I was younger, and then I started taking voice lessons, and the teacher said, yes, I think you really have a voice. So I started dedicating more and more time to it, and then I went to acting school in Brazil before starting in a conservatory, and came to New York.
Important for opera.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was always taking private lessons, vocal lessons, even with the acting. And then I came to New York about 10 years ago to study.
Now, were you the first Brazilian soprano to sing at where was it? Avery Fisher Hall?
At Avery Fisher Hall, yes.
Oh,
it was,
my goodness. That must have been an incredible experience for
It
you.
was very emotional, and I feel very honored. It was L'Italiana in Algeri. After we had done the same production in France, we came to New York, and it was very emotional for me. It was the first time I performed at Lincoln Center, and I came to know from one of the directors from the house that I was the first Brazilian to perform there, and I was just like, okay. Yes.
And no squeaks or voice problems or...
No, but the heart was...
I'm sure.
I
louder
really-
than your singing.
Yeah, almost no. But I guess it was good. It was good for to complement the character.
I'm sure. Now, have you been inspired by your Cuban Spanish ancestry in your
Absolutely.
singing at all?
Absolutely. My family from my father's side is Cuban, but I was born in Brazil and my mother's Brazilian. But listening to Cuban music since a very young age, and I started also specializing in this repertoire, and a few music festivals of this repertoire in Spain. In Granada, I went twice, 2 years in a row as a guest artist, and then started performing more and more this repertoire here in New York, and also in Europe and in South America.
Now, you have performed as a soloist in several operas in many different countries, in different orchestras.
Yes.
Do you find that to be difficult? I mean, even if it's the same opera, if you're doing that opera in France as opposed to Germany, I mean, is it very difficult to adjust?
It's always a new experience, and not only with the how the audience receives it, but I find it amazing. I'm very lucky to have the chance to work with so many different directors and different productions in the same compositions. I just feel lucky to be able to have this
It's an enriching experience each
Yes,
time, I'm
yes.
sure,
It's
and you
not-
learn something new.
Absolutely, it's not that it's hard. It's just different, and it's a good challenge every time.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's wonderful. Well, we're delighted to have you here.
Thank you for having
Delighted,
us.
really. Nilko, it's so nice to have you back as well.
Thank you very much,
I
Jim.
remember when you were here, you were sitting over in a corner while we were setting up. Just you had brought your guitar with you
Yes,
and
yes.
strumming, and I'm thinking, I have to have him come and do a show.
That was very nice.
Because you sang that night that we did the show.
Yes, it was a different project. Yes.
So where is home for you?
Well, home is New York. It's been for the past 13 years. I came to study from Colombia. I came to study, and then after graduation, and I finished my master's, I was already involved professionally in many different ways with the city. So I made New York to be my home, and since 2009, I've been traveling, also performing. So, but always coming back and missing New York whenever I'm away.
One of the things I was fascinated about when I was doing some research on you is that you played at the Apollo Theater.
Yes.
What was the venue? What was the occasion? Did you do amateur hour?
Well, yes, it was this competition that they have on Wednesdays.
It's
and
called
it was,
Amateur
yes.
Hour in Harlem at the
So
Apollo Theater. That is incredible.
It was really interesting because I always wanted to learn, and I've been always fascinated by different cultures and different music. So I was trained and raised as a classical musician, but I mean, as Colombian, I feel a responsibility towards studying different kinds of expressions and like native music. And so when I came to New York, actually Manhattan School of Music, where I did my master's, was pretty close to the Apollo Theater. It's kind of it's in the neighborhood. So I was walking once, and then I saw they were having these auditions, and I was wondering, wow, this is so famous, but I'm sure it's not the classical music setting. So I took it as a challenge, and also for me it was great.
You know, the home of James Brown.
I know. So, but anyways, I was I guess young enough to jump in, but I did, and I ended up getting the first award. So it was great. So they invited me to perform, and I did a show there.
Oh,
It was a beautiful
congratulations.
experience. Yes.
What?
Well, I have to say it was a little funny because I started playing classical. But then soon enough, I realized people was not taking it, like, okay, this is great, this is nice, but
Hard to tap
but
your
not for
foot.
long. So I quickly switched to some kind of Spanish and other rhythms that I've been playing, and then people started to like it a little bit more, and it was a great experience. I learned a lot, and I loved it.
Well, you're going to do a solo for us. Is it going to be something like what you did at the Apollo?
Well, why not? We can let's spice it up. We just did a concert today, as you said, and we played a lot of Bach and a lot of classical music. But I feel like playing a tango.
Go for it. Take it away.
This is Tango in the Sky by French composer Roland Dions.
So then the piece that you're playing is different probably from what we had thought you were going to play.
No,
but
this is it.
okay, just go right ahead. Wonderful. You have just outstanding technique, but you also have a lot of musicianship.
Thank you very much.
You are truly a performer, without a doubt.
Thank you
Well,
very much.
come join us again. I'd like to hear a little bit more about your tour that you had. You were on tour for like 3 months, and you gave master classes in Bogota and Cartagena, was it?
Cartagena, yes.
Yeah, tell us something about that. How
Well,
did it go?
since we started this project together, because Angelica has her work as an opera singer, and I have my career as a chamber musician and as a soloist, but we decided to work together because we both were passionate about this rare combination of guitar and voice in the classical world is not very common. So we started to do research, and we found a lot of music from the old times, like a lot of music that was written for lute, and this was an idea that the French Alliance in Colombia loved. So they took us to a Colombian tour, and we went all over the country, and we were very excited because it was my hometown, and there was a lot of places that I didn't even know. So it was a great experience.
And how did you first meet to get the idea to come up with this duo? Did you study together, or did you play together someplace?
We met in a music festival here in New York, a Spanish music festival, and I admired his playing a lot, and he admired my performances. So I would come to his concerts, he would come to my concerts, and we shared this passion for chamber music, and we decided to start this project, the De La Riva Guarin duo. So this is how it all started, about 2 years, a little bit over 2 years ago.
Well, I mean, you know that this is a show for entrepreneurs, musical, business, internet. How do you promote yourselves? I mean, do you have an agent? Do you manage yourselves? Do you do your own bookings? How does that work?
A little bit of everything. I would say in these times there is a lot of opportunity. The internet helps. Like nobody will do as good as what you could do for yourself. Like, so there's.
But you know, it's interesting you say that. But a lot of people, a lot of musicians, are really a bit, I'll say, bashful about bragging about themselves, and really don't feel comfortable promoting themselves. But you don't have a problem with that?
Well, I would say as far like promoting yourself on the internet, like making sure your videos are okay. You have a nice website.
You're hiding behind cyberspace.
And then you can, and then of course you need people that will work for you. So then you show what you have to agents and some other. So we have got some of the tours and some of the work that I have through agents in different countries or even in New York.
Mm-hmm. And what was it like doing master classes? How did that work? What did you actually do?
It was a wonderful experience. Wasn't the first time. 2 years ago was the first time I gave master classes in singing, and it was a beautiful experience. So much talent out there, and so many people that really wants to learn. And we had a wonderful experience with a social project in Brazil, but also in Cartagena.
I murdered that word, didn't I? The name of that country.
It
Cartagena.
was Cartagena.
Okay.
It was a wonderful experience, but also in Bogota, and to a few of the students from the conservatory, and in Medellin as well.
Well, tell us quickly, what is on the horizon for you? Do you have something coming up? And I know you had a very successful concert in October 9th or something?
Yes, we have next week. Actually,
you're going to be in December?
In December 12th, we have a concert at Carnegie Hall, which is called the Amazon Concert. And it's a concert dedicated to music of written by composers that were inspired in the Amazon forest, like Heitor Villa-Lobos, that he has a beautiful piece for soprano and orchestra.
Well, this is terrific. Well, we will have information up, your website.
Everything is there.
Where will the concert be?
This is at Wild Hall at Carnegie Hall on December 12th.
All right. Well, we only have, believe it or not, a few minutes left. So, and I would like you to do another piece to close the show. So, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
It has truly been a real treat. You are just such talented professional artists. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanh you so much.
Really a pleasure. And I know that you said you have a website for the duo. What is it?
Yes, it's Angelica de la Riva /duo.
Okay.
And also
well,
you can
I'm sure
find
that
some information.
We'll have it in the credits.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you so much to Ed Middleton, who is my son, for directing the show and who is our caterer, and also to Blade Randstrom on camera and in the control room, who is just really wonderful. And also Renee Bennett, who is a producer herself in the control room. She's doing her own show. And a very, very special thanks to Drew and Manhattan Neighborhood Network for making this show possible. You've been watching Minding Your Business, the show for really talented business and musical entrepreneurs. And remember to see yourself where you want to be. I am your host, June Middleton. Please join us again next time. And again, though, before we close, I would like to present to you Angelica de la Riva and Nilko Andreas Guarin playing. Just go right ahead and we'll find out what it is.
Ojos azules, tengo los ojos azules y el corazoncillo igual que la cresta de la luna. La noche me salgo el patio y muerto de llorar de ver que te quiero tanto y tú no me quieres nada. Esta gitana está loca, pero loquita de amor, que lo que sueña de noche quiere que sea verdad. La luna es un pozo chico, las flores no valen nada, lo que vale son tus brazos cuando de noche me abrazan, lo que vale son tus brazos cuando de noche me abrazan. Las manos de mi cariño te están bordando una capa con agreman de alelíes y con esclavinas de agua. Cuando fuiste novio mío por la primavera blanca, los cascos de tu caballo, 4 sollozos de plata. La luna es un pozo chico, las flores no valen nada, lo que vale son tus brazos cuando de noche me abrazan, lo que vale son tus brazos cuando de noche